Hi, I'm Monty McKinnon. Thank you for joining me. And before we get into today's video, I just want to say thank you to all of you who have purchased my book. I really do appreciate that. It's available as an ebook, softcover, and as a hardcover. And I'm really grateful for your support. A lot of people have been buying this book, Priorities Inspiration for Busy People, and I'm really grateful for your support. So thank you very much for that. I hope you enjoy it. It does make a great Christmas gift. And the only thing I can suggest to you is you want to order it sooner than later, because I'm finding things from Amazon are taking longer to receive now than they were before. So if you're interested in that book, then by all means get yourself a copy as soon as you can. Now today we're going to be working on the peg head up here, and then we'll be working down here at the butt end of this neck. The problem I had with this is the thickness of this wood that you see here, this dark wood, which is a Brazilian. This dark wood is 55 thousandths of an inch in thickness, so that's not very much. And sure enough, you know, it's just a rule that has to happen, right? As I take it and I get it all set, ready to glue up here, it cracks in half. It literally, because this is made up of 4 different pieces of wood that I've got glued together, run through the thickness sander in order to get it down to the thickness I want. So it's very delicate, and sure enough, it broke apart. What do? You'll be faced with these kinds of situations, or you'll get a crack in the side of your guitar, or the binding won't fit quite properly, and you need to massage it a bit, and there's still a little gap. So what are you going to do? My solution, and it works extremely well, is to use the thin Starbond CA glue. Now, Starbond makes great glue. They have this available in a white and a black and clear, which I like. It comes thick, it comes medium, and it comes thin. Thin is like water. It just oozes in there and disappears. So what I did is I brought this back together and I put some tape to hold it in place. So once that's there, I then flood this with the CA glue here, the Starbond glue, and that's sitting on top of some wax paper so that it won't stick to the bench. Once that is done, I then was able to take it and glue it on. So again, Starbond, the CA glue, saved the bacon. So I appreciate that, Starbond. Thank you for making us a good product, and thank you that you supply this product to me. And I really am grateful to have it here. So if you haven't got any of this in your shop, you better get some, because you're going to need it. And I use the medium and the thin. I use more thin, next comes medium, and then the thick. Not too often do I use the thick. That has to be a real catastrophic error in the guitar for me to use the thick. But the thin, I'm using all the time. And it's a great way of filling in the pores in some of the areas on the side of the guitar, because you put some sawdust in there, put some thin on it, and sand it. And then that sanding just pushes this all into that little pore and makes it nice and smooth. So get yourself some of this. It's really good glue. All right, now I want to talk a little bit about how we're going to line this up. This is the template that we have, and the holes are set in here in order to guide where this is going to go. This is recessed, so it's nice and flush, and we will take that and we were going to drill a hole through here and here. The problem is I got to measure this. I make this template and I got to measure this to be right, not only for the positioning of the machine heads that are going to go through here, but for the template. So this is what I do, and it seems to work out pretty well. Now you'll remember this orange block. We used this before when we were lining up the head here on the peg head. We had this on here. So we've got a center line marked here. I've got a center line marked there. So let's put this in. Okay, there we go. That's good. Now, on this, I have a center line marked right down, obviously, the center. So we take that and we're going to put that right up in there, like so. Now, I'm going to clamp that on there. Now, I don't do it too tight because I want to massage this, make sure I get it lined up right. And then I make it tight. Now, the next thing is taking a pencil and making a circle in here isn't really going to help me because I want the center of that circle because that becomes important. So I'm going to take a 3/8 inch drill. Now, if you go with one that's slightly bigger, this would be 25/64 of an inch. One of the things you need to know is that this is machined right down in this end, so when it fits in the drill press, that means this is thicker than this. So if you took this and you put it in there, you'd say, wow, that fits perfect. But when you turn it around here, it doesn't fit perfect. And if you drill this, now you're making it bigger, and you don't necessarily need to make it bigger. Now, the reason for the 3/8 is it may be just a tad tight. That's okay, because we're going to use a reamer anyway in the back of this, and we want to be able to make it fit. So that fits, and there is no machining out here. This is just a straight post. It fits in. Either way you look at it, there it is. So what we're going to do is we're going to move over here, and we're going to, now that we've got this in position, we're going to drill through here. Now, I want to be careful because I do not want to blow out the back here. And so in order to make sure that I don't do that, this is what I do. I get my hammer, and I've got the drill bit. Now this is a brad point. That means there's a very sharp point on the end of this. You'll have to look that up. You'll never see it up this close. At least I don't think you can. At any rate, there is like a needle point. So when you put that in there, like that, then you just simply tap it, and you'll get an indentation in the top of your peg head. And you do that for each one of these slots all the way around. So now what you have, this is pretty good. It works great. What you've got going for you now is you've got 6 indentations here, and those indentations represent the center of where you're going to be drilling. So the brad point will fit right into there, nice and neat, if I can see it without my glasses, which we both know I can't. So let's, oh, there they are. Oh, there are the holes. Okay, so there it is. Now, we'll put this into the drill press, and then we'll go over there and we'll drill away, and then I'll come back and I'll show you just what's happening. So let's take a look at that right now. Okay, now I have a little bit of a problem, and the solution is going to be using some Starbond. Now, here's what's happened. This is where the split was on the back of the guitar peg head here in the veneer. Now, right along the edge of that veneer, it has lifted up just ever so slightly. So what I am going to do here is I'm going to do this. I'm going to clamp this down here because I want this flush over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to flood this in here, and I went just beyond it on either side. I'm putting the wax paper on it. I'm putting this down here. And I'm going to clamp that like that. In just a few minutes, that will dry. And once again, if you will, Starbond has saved the day, because I don't want that big chip out on the back there. This will just flatten it right out. You'll never see it. I'll sand it. You'll never be able to find it. So I'm just going to let that dry for a couple of minutes. It doesn't even take that long. What I can do to speed that up is I use the Starbond accelerator, and I can just squirt that in there, and basically it's already done and it's hardened, but I'm just going to leave it for a few seconds anyway. And if you haven't got any of this, make sure there are two other things that you order if you order your Starbond. You want the accelerator for sure, but you also want the debonder in case you get this stuff on your fingers. You can get your fingers apart, and yes, I did glue my fingers together. Oh well, that's tough when you get to my age, you know. Maybe that would stop my hands from shaking. What do you think? At any rate, that's about it for me. I'm going to let that go. I will then finish off the holes. There's only 3 there. And we'll come back, and then we're going to shape the peg head, and we'll do that in the next video. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you so much again for ordering the book. I really do appreciate that. That's just wonderful. And get yourself a cup of English breakfast tea, because it's the drink of champions. And I can tell you right now, I've had a lot of coffee drinkers write me and tell me they're just over-the-top coffee drinkers. They've tried the English breakfast and they've switched to English breakfast tea. Just saying, you might enjoy it. Give yourself a break today and have some English breakfast. Oh, it's so good. It's so refreshing. Just have a great day along with your English breakfast tea, and get yourself something to read. I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye for now.